Alright, so actually you might want to turn your jitter off before you add this shadow, but it shouldn't make too big of a deal. Alright, now I'm going to invert the selection again. I'm going to choose the blur tool. I'm just going to try to smooth out this inside a bit. That's a little bit better. Okay, now let's see. So this part goes down here at the top. Switch to white, 0.1 for size, and opacity about 30. Just going to draw a line across right there. Jitter on. I'm going to draw. Oh, whoops. Don't know what I hit there. Alright. Another light line right here at the top. In fact, I'm just going to sort of shade this whole area in lighter. And darken the area over here behind. Do that. There we go. Okay. Now, notice there's a lighter section here on the top, and it gets darker there at the bottom, so back to white. Let's see. Bit too far with that line, so I'm just gonna erase it a little bit. Oh. Okay. And now I need to darken the bottom. Alright, and now I'm going to darken this edge and lighten this side up a little bit. That's not coming out quite like I want it to. That's better. Let's see what that looks like real quick. Okay, that's not bad. So it looks like this side does the same thing the other side does. Slants down towards the end. So let's just do the same thing we did over there. Add a line. Make that part brighter, that part darker. pretty decent, but a little too, stands out a little too much. So I'm gonna lower the eraser to 15. That's a really big brush, and second thought, I'm gonna make that 25 and then erase over this. I'm gonna choose the blur tool, change it, yeah, 30 should do. I'm just gonna blur over it a little bit. Just to try to make it blend in a little bit better. Well, that should work. Okay. So let's see now for some of these small pieces, like this one. Go ahead and use my selection layer and grab that. Go back to, well, let's just go to shading on this one. And raise the opacity. I'm just going to darken this up a little bit and switch to a lighter brush and add a bit of reflection to it. Light. Alright, now turn on my overlay and back to shading, and now I'm going to make this brush 0.1, change the opacity to about 40, and make sure jitter is on. I'm just going to go ahead and outline this. A couple of times. To outline this edge here a little bit. This won't be very visible at all in game, but it'll help to define these shapes a little bit better. Alright, now what else have we got? Looks like this piece right here. This is the bottom of the foregrip. I'm just going to add a bit of dark shading, sort of right at that crease right there. I'm going to switch to light, lower the opacity to 20. Going to run the brush over it, shrink it down, and do it again. Since that's a rounded surface. Okay. Now let's see what else. Go ahead and take a look at my reference images. Oops, that's not it. Alright, let's see. Basically, you can just continue to add details, as many as you can find on the actual reference images. Just add shading, add details, whatever you can find. I don't know, I'm going to go much further with this since this tutorial is already quite long. Okay, so I think I'm going to stop there for the details. Now, next step with the texture is to go ahead and turn off your overlay and turn on these 3 overlays here. This one just adds some sort of random variation in color, so you want the opacity very low. I'm going to set it at about 10. This one adds some various details to the metal, and so does this one. Alright, now these are all for adding small details that, you know, not part of the gun itself, but damage and such. The speckle one, just pick small shapes like this. Choose white. You might want to raise the opacity on this a bit, it's a little low. And then just, let's see, add little imperfections and details like this, just sort of randomly all over the model. Doesn't really matter what shape. Alright, now in the random one, I'm going to go ahead and choose this brush. Leave this opacity very low, but maybe not quite that low. And start adding sort of blotches. Skip gouges. Use scratches, and you're going to want to choose this brush, 0.1, and I'm going to turn on fade out, but set it to, I don't know, about 250, and then just sort of click and drag lines like this, and the fade out will make them sort of disappear as they get longer. These are just scratches in the metal. They shouldn't be very obvious, but you want quite a few of these. All of this stuff is pretty easy. Damage is the one that you really spend some time on. And you can adjust this to get different lengths. You might even want to turn up the opacity a little. Just kind of go all over the place with these. Alright, so the next step is going to be damage.